What's your reaction to Colin Kaepernick's sit-down interview?
I'm annoyed.
Ooh, whoa.
I'm annoyed. I'm very annoyed. I actually want to see Colin Kaepernick get back into the league and ball. I want to see Kaepernick get back into the league and ball. But at this point, I feel like I'm getting played.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting played by Colin Kaepernick because, Cap, for 5 years now, we've been begging you to speak, begging you to say something, and yet you haven't spoken, and now you're speaking, but it appears as though it's long too late. So if I want to see you get back out there and ball and have been begging you to speak, but now that you have spoken, it is too late, I'm frustrated because you're not serving yourself, and thus you're not serving the fans who want to see you get back out there and ball. So Colin Kaepernick came out with the film, Colin in Black and White. Colin Kaepernick, executive produced by Ava DuVernay. Why do I hear from Ava DuVernay's team as though she wants to sit down and have a conversation with me? But I reach out to Kaepernick's team and it's crickets. Cap, the movie's named after you. Sit down, speak. I don't even care if you speak to me or not. Just speak to somebody. Crickets. I'm annoyed because I feel like Kaepernick is playing me and potentially playing you, the viewer, too. Okay. If you want to make change in your world, forget the world. If you want to make change in your world, you cannot give somebody an opportunity to turn a deaf ear to you. And Kaepernick has given too many people too many opportunities. You wear pig socks, opportunity number 1. Fidel Castro shirt, opportunity number 2. The NFL says, okay, let's have a workout, but you change the destination of the workout. Opportunity number 3. And then finally, when it's time to speak, you do not speak until it is far too late. You cannot give people an opportunity to turn a deaf ear to you or they will take you up on that opportunity. And Colin Kaepernick has given far too many opportunities for people to turn a deaf ear to him, and they have taken him up on the opportunity. I equate this situation to the individual who breaks up with another individual. And that person who has now been broken up with, Marcellus Wiley, sends several texts trying to make it work, trying to make it work, trying to make it work. To no avail. There's never a response. Then finally, when that person who was broken up with decides to move on, bing, I miss you. But I've been trying to reach out to you and I haven't heard. We have been trying to reach out to Colin Kaepernick. The literal we is in NFL media. The figurative we is in the greater NFL has been trying to reach out to Colin Kaepernick to no avail. And then now that the NFL world has truly moved on, long moved on, ding, Kaepernick sends that I miss you text. Because now it's as though Kaepernick wants to get back into the league. I'm annoyed because I wanted to see it work out. But Colin Kaepernick would have to work it out.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. I'm not annoyed. I've been apathetic to Colin Kaepernick and his position for a very long time, probably from the beginning, because I'm going to just simply say it like this. Forget all the things you mentioned and you left out the Kunta Kinte shirt at the workout. I mean, that should go well. Here's the thing. When someone tells me they want something, and look, I'm going to be humble up here, but I'm also going to tell the truth. I've accomplished a lot in my life. And I know what want looks like. And when someone comes up to me, whatever it is, it could be, hey, I want to go to Columbia, I want to go to Ivy League school, I want to go to the NFL. And it happens to me dozens, thousands of times a year, it feels like, just everywhere I go. I want to do what you do. I want to broadcast like you. You know how it goes. I got mentees everywhere. I know what want looks like because I know what I had to do to show that I wanted it. This doesn't look like he wants a job. Now, let me tell you why it doesn't look like he wants a job. One, it seems like now he's on this promotional tour. Like, I'm hearing a lot about Colin Kaepernick wanting to get into the NFL. And it makes me scratch my head like, why now? Interesting. You got Spike Lee on this team, traveling with him. Spike Lee traveling with you, filming a documentary. And full disclosure, they reached out to me and want me in a documentary. I don't know. I got to have Final Cut edit. Because I like you, Spike. You might do the wrong thing on me and put me out there wrong. I can speak for myself. So anyway, It's interesting. Colin Kaepernick doing promotion right now for the NFL experience. I want it back. But you just had a movie come out, and you didn't even do promotion for your movie at Netflix, which is, I know that for a fact, because they reached out, and they were like, this dude won't do a Q&A, a magazine cover, won't go to HBCU, etc. That's the all thing. I told you I've been apathetic to this dude because none of us speak for all of us. So stop coming to me thinking just because we got the same skin color or we are labeled the same that we gonna speak for each other. I speak differently. And that's the beautiful thing about being black or anybody in this world. The only box you should be put in is no box. But unfortunately, you're put into a box if you don't agree with Colin Kaepernick. Because Colin Kaepernick is talking about the oppression that existed at a greater level in the past that exists now? Colin Kaepernick says it does. But that was the same oppression that put you in a position where you had millions of dollars, huge platform, and could all of a sudden become Colin Kaepernick. Remember we talked about it last week? When someone calls the same thing the gas and the brake, be careful. Colin Kaepernick's telling me the NFL is racist, tells me that the NFL is oppressive. Okay, it is. Well, how'd you get so high up if it was so oppressive? Oh, I was just one example. No, look at the many of white quarterbacks that you had a better football life than, many of quarterbacks that you were the starter and they were backups, many of people who didn't have the same level of success as you, Colin Kaepernick. So when I look at this situation, man, I know this dude don't want to play. I'm going to tell you what I really think. I think that in his settlement, there was something around Colin Kaepernick. Maybe you agree never to play again. But Colin Kaepernick, you can't speak bad against the NFL, but you can speak. And I think right now, these are just him and his team going out there trying to stoke the fire of his martyrdom. Because I don't think there's an opportunity for him. I don't think he really wants that said opportunity. Because throwing the football on air to receivers that may make it or may not is not how the NFL experience goes. He knows that. He's had year after year after year after year to show that. And when he had the proper opportunity to do it, you know what he did? He tried to blow that spot up.
Let me tell y'all why Kaepernick won't play again. Here's why Colin Kaepernick likely will not play in the National Football League again based on history of the NFL. He has no more NFL allies. The greatest Kaepernick parallel as of recent is Tim Tebow. Both of them were out of the league for an incredibly long time. Both of them were questionable based off of some perceived Tebow couldn't play quarterback. Obviously, he was struggling. Kaepernick at least was balling at the quarterback position. But both had distractions off the field that were good causes. Tim Tebow, people would say he was too devout a Christian. And Colin Kaepernick, why is he protesting social injustice? Here's why Colin Kaepernick won't play again. Because his ally of head coach Chip Kelly is coaching in college. His ally of head coach Harbaugh is coaching in college. And his ally of head coach Tom Sula is coaching in Europe. He ain't got no more eligibility to play in college, and Colin Kaepernick don't want to play in Europe. Tim Tebow played last year in the offseason because Urban Meyer, who coached Tim Tebow in Florida, was a head coach in Jacksonville. If not for Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow does not get another opportunity. But for Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow at least shows up in camp. Colin Kaepernick has no more NFL allies. And the NFL isn't just about how good are you, it is who do you know. I have told the story of my defensive coordinator in Cleveland when I was drafted, my linebacker coach in Cleveland when I was drafted, becoming my defensive coordinator in Philly when the Eagles traded for me. After the Eagles released me, I called my defensive coordinator, Billy Davis, in the offseason. Hey, coach, what's the word? Where we going next? Because wherever he was, I was. All he says to me is, your ace in the hole is out the league. He had left the NFL and had gone to college at Ohio State. When he went back to the NFL to be the linebacker coach for the Cardinals, I forgot this part of the story last time, he texted me, you got any snaps in you? I was like, unless you're talking about pictures, I ain't got no more snaps left, coach. Colin Kaepernick has no more allies. His coaches are in college or in Europe. For that reason, I realistically do not see Kaepernick playing again, even if he wanted to.
Yeah, but Cap is smarter than that, man. And I think he ran a better equation, and he chose how to run that equation through his experiences. Think about it. You sue the NFL, nothing wrong with that. You feel you were wrong, sue the NFL. Here's the thing. You settled with the NFL privately. So now there's a lot going on here that no one knows. True. You are legally bound to not speak on this situation as they are as well. So when you had them on the hook, when you had the hammer, you chose to settle, fine, settle. But I wonder what the fine print of that settlement said, because now, to me, coincidentally, it seems like we've hit a threshold. We've hit a benchmark where, okay, Colin Kaepernick, now you can talk it up. And why are you going to talk it up when it's the same league you portrayed as a plantation in terms of the drafting process and the combine? You want plantation money again? It's just silly, man. You got to move with that stuff. Let me tell you one thing that I did like what Colin Kaepernick said, because I love it when you keep it thou wow. He said, look, how come I can't play in the NFL? He called him out, really. He's trying to challenge the NFL on his principles and potentially his pandering. He said you can't have in the end zone end racism and Black Lives Matter, and then you're sitting over there trying to keep me back, and it's not based on the meritocracy. It's based off of professionalism, which can hide words such as distraction in it. You can umbrella that. When meritocracy says, like, he better than some other quarterbacks, get him in the league. I do like that. I like the challenge of Colin Kaepernick using what he has as ammunition to say, hey, NFL, be real to the people. What is it really about? But what I don't like in whole is that I've never met a prospect that ever tried to get an opportunity in the NFL who went about it this way. And especially when they are descending from the heavens. He had it all. He didn't have the epiphany, I guess, at that moment. But when Colin Kaepernick was on top, none of this was existing. And now he's on the bottom, or out the league, I should say. All of a sudden, he wants to kick up dust when 2017 through now, where was all this dust kicking up? He ain't playing me. He playing people out there who thinks he speak for them. And unfortunately, I'm here to tell you, he doesn't speak for you. You speak for yourself.